Hello, hello. Whoop, already dropping stuff. Happy Monday. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. Um, Happy Monday. It's been a Monday already. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Estella. Good evening. I'm amazed I managed to get here on time. You and me both, friend. Hi, Arlie. How's it going out there, everybody? I had work today. It was Monday. Then the kids have soccer practice. So it's like one of those days where it feels like you're just going, going, going. And I'm always excited when it's finally time to come to my sewing room. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, you know what, Arlie? Mondays really are never happy. I think that's like a psychological trick I'm trying to pull on myself. Oh, thank you, Dawn Stewart. I'm got two Dawns, so I'm gonna go Dawn Stewart and Dawn. Dawn X. Hi, Twyla. How's it going? Was everybody's weekend good? I think it was still rainy here, but man, and there's a frost warning. My husband actually planted our garden this weekend, and now there is a frost warning for tonight, of course. Hi, Linda. So hopefully we don't get too much frost tonight that kills all of our tomatoes and what do we have? Tomatoes, peppers. I think he said he planted cauliflower this year, which we've never. Dawn X. I've been called worse. Me too, friends. Me too. It's my friend Chris from Sew the Distance. Hi, Chris. Estella says, hi, Tasha. I'm adding the last border to my Jessica Dayton quilt along. Ooh, it's always so fun when you get to the last steps and then all your hard work finally comes to, you can kind of see it. Arlie, I'm with you. Rain is good, but I am so sick and tired of it too. Dawn, what did you plant? So tonight I'm working on a FPP block for my quilt guild, and I'm terrified. Even though this is all straight lines, I'm still scared to death because I don't want to mess this up. So don't let me mess this up, guys. Do not let me mess it up. I know, Chris. I'm so glad you made it. Grant says he does not like the albino broccoli. I like cauliflower better than broccoli. I do. I'm not scared to say it. Hey Brenda, how's it going? We were just talking about how we have a frost warning tonight, so there is a chance that the garden my husband just planted 2 days ago could be in trouble. So this is a foundation paper pieced block that my quilt guild gave me, and this is on tracing paper, but I'm going to treat it just like any other paper, and right now I'm pre-folding all the lines. Dawn Stewart planted zucchini. Yes, we planted zucchini too. Beans. We did green beans, cucumber, and radishes. We did not do radishes. I do like a radish in a salad, though. Not gonna lie. But that's really the only way I've ever really eat radishes. They have to be like really, really small. Linda says, send me some of that frost and rain. It's summer here and in the high 90s this weekend next. You're in Florida, right? I always want to say Florida or Arizona. I can never remember, but I always think Florida because of the sail lady. Um, can you throw sheets or tarps? Can you cover them to plant them? Probably. Will my husband do that? Probably not. Probably not. He'd rather just live dangerously. It seems like the consensus here is that he should be throwing a sheet over them. I might have to sub that advice to him. Notice he's in charge of the garden. That's his area. Could I do it? Yes. Well, I also know. I know. Jinx, you guys owe each other a Coke. Brenda's having her last day of a 4-day weekend because in Canada, it's their 3-day weekend this weekend. Mine is next weekend, and I'm taking a 4th day off. Okay, I thought you were in Florida. Hi, Erin. Arlie says it won't be long till it's hot as heck here, and I'll complain about that too. Me too. I reserve the right to complain 24/7. Okay, Dawn Stewart says a sheet will do the trick. And Linda is in Florida. Breeze are hot even from the waters. Oof. Yeah. No, thank you. I'll complain about my frost. I'd rather be cold than hot. I got to wear a hoodie today to my kids' soccer practice. I wasn't mad about that. Pat says, good evening, everyone. Husband needs to cover up with cloths, fabric, sheets, not plastic. Okay, I might have some extra fabric around here that he could use. Okay, so I have the little one, the first one taped. And now I'm going to be really brave and do this. Even though I know what I'm doing, I feel like I don't. Dawn says, everyone on headphones, cover your ears. She's about to yell, honey, apparently you need to tuck in the garden. That's funny. Oh God, don't screw up the first one, Tasha. Let's see. I gotta make some adjustments here. Let's hope if this goes awry, I'm gonna put the project away. It's not meant to be. Well, I did. Let's see if it's right sides together. Okay, looks good. This is my first actual courthouse steps block I've ever done. This is, yeah, courthouse steps raffle quilt. So, after I get a tissue, I'm going to tell you the story about this. Because even though it's cold, I still have allergies. Oops, somehow I just clicked something. Oh, God, this computer. Okay. Zaza said, oh, hi, Zaza. Dawn says, imposter syndrome, we all run into it. Straight lines, you got this. Yes, please. I hope so. Every time I do foundation paper piecing, it feels like I've never done before. Honestly, why is it like that? Yes, I toyed between 1.5 and 1.6, Brenda. Thank you for reminding me. I did kind of do a checklist. I'm trying 1.6 today, even though it's only a smidge bigger, because I feel like I could actually seam rip it if I screw it up. 1.5, I don't feel like I can seam rip that very well. And I do feel like proud of myself because lately I haven't had to like Google how to foundation paper piece right before I foundation paper piece something. So I feel like I'm finally learning and can do it, which is a small miracle. It always makes me nervous when I slide it like that, but somehow it always works. So hopefully I'm not making you nervous too. Zaza says, our good weather ended today. It was cold today. A northeasterly wind made it feel really cold. Yeah, it was quite chilly here today too. I actually wore a hoodie to my daughter's soccer practice today. Aaron says, wow, the paper probably really helps the ends that have a tendency to dip otherwise. Yes, paper, when you're doing foundation paper piecing, the paper really helps with stability. Actually, they specifically put in the instructions for this to not take the paper out. They want to do it themselves after they assemble. Yeah, 1.5 will be an absolute nightmare to seam rip. To be honest with you, 1.6 is going to be an absolute nightmare too. I don't know why I even care about that extra dot one. Either way, it will suck. Hopefully, I will not be seam ripping. Should be pressing, but I'll be, oh, you can kind of only see me ironing, so Oh, I don't know if I said hi, Mona. Hi, Mona. Debbie Vasali's in the chat, everybody. That's my mom, so don't get me in trouble with my mom. Yeah. Oh, Dawn, I'm with you. I have a few go-to video reminders, especially when I have to join binding ends. I have one too that I have tucked away that I use for binding too. Although the last two bindings I did, I didn't have to look at it, so I feel like I'm finally getting there. But it's been a long time since I've actually finished something to bind it, so I probably will have to look at it again. Hi, Amanda. How's it going? If you guys, I don't know if you were all here next week, but or last week, but Stitching Life Together is Amanda, and she's a very, very new YouTuber, so go check her out. Gotta make space here. Thought I made enough space, but never enough space. And then I'm bringing out my favorite tool that I always talk about, not sponsored. This is the Foundation Paper Piecing Ruler by Fallon. What's her channel name? Someone remind me. I always forget, but I love this ruler. I love it. Thanks, Dawn. Looking out for me. And so with this ruler, what I'm doing is my next step, I'm just folding the paper back, and then I'm trimming 1/4 of an inch, and there's a nice little line right here. So I don't have to think. I don't have to worry about lining up anything on a ruler. And then I go. Honestly, one of my most favorite things I've ever bought. I love this little thing. So be it, quilts. Thank you. I do think that ripping the paper is a little bit of a stress relief. It reminds me sometimes of when you get new appliances or new electronics and you get to rip the plastic off. But it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. This seam allowance, on the other hand, is pretty tight over here. That's all right. Oh, it's not so bad. Looks like 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, that gold is definitely a little bit of 1/8 of an inch. That's okay, though. Hopefully they won't notice. Okay. First 2 spots done. Light and light. Look at this. It's like I know what I'm doing. All right. And then I have to do a dark next, and I figured out which order these go by how much length I have of each that they gave me. They cut this all up for me. There's really never enough space for FPP. I really need a side table and a side. I need to be surrounded. Oh, Fallon's ears are probably ringing every single time I go live because I tell everybody about this ruler literally every single time I go live because I love it so much. Hi, Denise. How's it going? Okay, thank you, Dawn. So, this is my guild. Next year is my guild's 50th anniversary of when they were founded. And so they are putting together 50 courthouse steps blocks, and they're trying to get 50 people to do the blocks. So Joanne, who sometimes pops in here, is the one who is organizing it. So I volunteered to do one, but I've never been more nervous about any block, maybe other than those baby quilts I do for work, but a lot of pressure. And I normally work with solids, so I don't have to be bothered with right sides and wrong sides. So a little bit of an adjustment for me. I'm going to put a pin in this because that's what I like to do. Because anxiety. Okay. Hi, Donna. I can't remember if I said hello or not. Yeah, it was Denise. The D's got me confused. So, hi, Donna. How's it going? Zaza says, taking the plastic film from the kitchen units or appliances is the best. I got the kitchen fitters to leave it on, and I think they thought I was a weirdo. So, Zaza, funny you say that because we just got a new washer and dryer, and once it was all installed, I heard my husband ripping the plastic off, and I went, "Oh my God, that's so much fun. That's the best." And he goes, "Is it?" And I'm like, "I cannot believe that you just ripped that plastic off and didn't even appreciate it when I could have done it. Rude." So yeah, so they're trying to get 50 blocks done for 50 by 50 people to put together a raffle quilt next year, which is one of the biggest like fundraisers they do for the I figured I would gladly put together a block if that's all I had to do. What's really cool about this quilt guild too is a lot of people travel from pretty like decent distances to get to it, and I live like 5 minutes from it. Like it's very convenient for me. Um, which is great because if it wasn't very close to where I lived, I wouldn't really be able to, with the kids and sports and all that stuff, it wouldn't really be possible for me. But because it is so close, I can like sneak out of there a little early if I got something going on with the kids or whatever, and I can be home in 5 minutes. It's so close. I always feel a little bad for the people that drive so far. I am being a little wasteful. They said I could send back the scraps, but I am just going to be my wasteful self with this because anxiety, you guys know. Yes. So when he ripped that plastic stuff off my appliances, I was like, it's been a good run. We've been married for like 10 years, but it might be, we might be over now. Dawn says, I'll do the blocks if you fold these king size duvets. Not a chance, girl. I don't even fold my own stuff, let alone a king size anything. I don't have the skills for that. I don't. I am unqualified for that. I do like being part of my guild. I don't, so it's like a mixed, bag with my quote guilds because I really like going, but because of the stage of my life, it is a little bit hard for me to commit to um making to any other additional responsibilities, right? It's hard enough for me just to get to the meetings. I can do a block every so often, but like holding a position in a guild, and if you've ever been in a guild, I don't know if they're all like this, but the two that I'm kind of a part of, like, there's a president and there's a programs person and there's a this and a that, and then they need volunteers, and it's like it's hard because I would love to do that, but I just don't have enough time in the day, you know? So I do feel a little bad that I can't do more. I'm with you, Zaza. So, well, I just put it back on my bed. I don't have that many. I don't have that many extras. But poor Dawn has to do it for work. She can't get out of it. She is folding them. So, Aaron, they don't really shift too much, but that's why I sometimes am putting that little pin in there just to make sure it doesn't move. But really, I don't really have that much problem with them like slipping and sliding. I just like the word kitchen fitters. He told the kitchen fitters I wanted to do it myself. He was frightened. They thought I was a weirdo. I think I'm gonna start calling people fitters. Dawn says, I don't buy duvet covers to begin with. All right, so I actually numbered these myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm doing these 6 and 7. Put this back up here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so go nice and slow. Pat says, I thought length was 2.1. I've gardened for over 70 years and I wait for my 30th of, oh, and I wait for the 30th May. I buy early to harden the plants and move them under cover when frost is forecasted, well taught by my dad. Yes. So technically, they always say here to wait till Memorial Day to plant, which, is next weekend, but my husband got a little um ambitious. So we'll see. We will see what happens. So just lining this up. Being really careful because I'm scared. I do like these colors. I would never use anything like this in my own stuff, so that's what makes it kind of fun. Erin says she uses duvet covers for her quilt backings. I think every quilt I made this year has a sheet or a duvet cover backing because it's a 2-for-1 deal. I know, I really need to try that. Every time you say, but to be honest with you, I haven't finished a quilt. I finished a quilt top that's behind me and has been behind me for like, how long has it been there? I don't know, 3 months. I haven't finished any quilts. It's coming together. All right. Off-white. What's nice is when they did the off-whites, they cut them in different sizes, so I don't even have to worry about what goes where. They made those decisions for me. I think I'm going to do this one on this side because this is lighter. Is that big enough? Yes, it is. Okay. I definitely need to check out duvet covers or sheets. Does anybody else use duvet covers or sheets? These sizes are throwing me for a loop, but I think that's good. Oh, Zaza says, Aaron, I use sheets but never use duvet covers. I may clear out that airing cupboard. Ooh. Okay. I almost went to a thrift store yesterday. We drove by one and I don't leave the house that often, but my daughter was like hungry and I knew my did I do this right? Yes, I think so. Just doubting myself for a moment. Yeah, that is right. Just a little bit different than what I'm used to doing, so my brain's plus I've had a Monday. Linda says, my basil plants are still going strong. I made a lot of pesto. Ooh, my tomatoes are getting ripe, and I've made a lot of sauce and freezer bags of them. Yum. Now the sweet potatoes are coming on strong. When does your gardening season end, Linda? Like, we won't have tomatoes for a long time. Yes, that's right. What is the seam? Oh no. Seems like it's got a little fold in it, like I didn't press it good enough. Dang it. If it was just me, I wouldn't unpick this, but I'm going to unpick this because I feel like I can press it a little bit better. And last time I was on live, somebody told me to pick between the two pieces of fabric, so that is what I'm going to do. There's just like, I don't know if you can probably tell, but there's just like, it's not perfectly flat. And if it was my quilt, I wouldn't care, but it's not. Can I even do this? I don't know. Stressed. Which is great because I was a bad person and let my basil go to seed, so it got not good. But now I have another one. They made it in preschool for Mother's Day. Aaron says nothing more satisfying than ripping up a duvet and getting two quilts done. Heck yeah. Amanda says my grandma always used sheets for her quilt backs. My old quilt she made me has a Sesame Street sheet on the back. Oh my god, I love that. Yeah, I need to go. Dawn says thrift stores for the win for cotton sheets. I really need to look into that. Aaron says I love bedding backings because when they wash they are so soft. Tomato and pesto, I'm a fan too. Zaza says, Tasha, does your daughter get hangry? Mine got it so bad that I had to give her a biscuit or she'd get too hangry to eat her dinner. Yes, I am always tossing a cheese stick at that girl. Cheese stick and yogurt saved my life. Arlie's asking Linda if she plants in the ground or raised bed. I have a sister who lives west of Jacksonville and the ground is too sandy. She finally built raised beds. Oh, and that's working. Hi, Sean. Sean from The Guy Who Sews is here. Yeah, hangry is real in this house, Zaza, to the point that I put candies in the center console of the car. Yeah, I don't really leave without a snack in my purse for everybody. Zaza says, my favorite is flannel sheets. They're already pre-shrunk and they're soft and cozy and so much cheaper than flannel yardage. Linda says, I grow all year long unless it gets down in the 20s. Then I make my own hothouse with heavy plastic sheeting. Oh, how fun. All right, I'm going to debate this. I'm going to hit it with the iron. It's only a little bit towards the top. It's not the whole... I hate it. Gotta do it. Just need to pick like 2 inches or so. And I'm gonna use Scotch tape first. Dawn says, Sean, Eeyore turned out great. Oh, I saw the thumbnail for that one, but I haven't watched it yet. Hi, Nanette. I saw Sean said hello to you, but I've missed you in the chat somewhere. Where did you say hello? Always getting behind. Sorry if I missed anybody else. All right, let's see if we can get this done. Stupid 1.6 stitch length. God. And I backstitched, of course. All right, there we go. We're cruising. It's got to get past this little bit of red and then repress. Oh yeah, that I am so glad I did that. That was not pressed well. All right, let's pay attention. this time, Tasha. All right, now that is much flatter. Very nice. I'm going to flip this back over, give it another press. But if that was just for me, I would not have done that. Or Zaza says, Aaron, she's still bad and she's 24 this year. I still carry snacks for her when we go out together. At least now she knows what's happening. And that's awesome. I can see myself carrying snacks for my daughter. Yeah, when you're doing foundation paper piecing, the magic tape, you can iron over it and sew over it. It's the way to go. So I don't know. So I do that because I get nervous that because my stitch length is so small that when I seam rip, I will rip the paper. And I have done that in the past. I figured this out when I was doing my legit kit, my first block, and I had to seam rip my sculliver, and then the paper came apart, and it like really stressed me out. Even though it's really not that stressful, but so now I tape before I seam rip, so then the paper definitely stays together. Because that's the problem with such a small stitch length, the paper is like truly perforated. It doesn't take much to just disintegrate, at least for me. Yeah, I need to get one of those eyebrow razors. I have one upstairs that my kids call my mustache shaver. Isn't that nice? I went to give my daughter a kiss today too, and she was like, "Don't get your mustache on me." I'm like, "Rude." Just wait. Someday you're gonna have a mustache too, lady. But now I'm like tripping out, trying to figure out where I should start sewing from again. Just gonna make sure this is truly flat. One more press. You never regret one more press, right? I certainly regret not. All right, I think we're good. I think I'm going to start like right in the middle here. Much better. Hi, Katie. This tape, I can't remember where I was reading it. I know a couple people gave me this tip. Um, but and the magic one, I got the name brand one because I was scared, but the magic Scotch tape, where's the thing? There it is. Just the magic one, it does not melt. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've like pressed it multiple times. If I can find there we go. And it's taped right there and it's fine. Doesn't bother anything. And I've done it quite a bit. And I always use high heat. I do not use steam though. I don't put water in my irons. That's coming together nicely. Good night, Erin. Have a great rest of your evening. I barely have any eyebrows from all that plucking in the 90s, Candace says. That's awesome. Dawn, that's hilarious. I might look for that. Dawn says I should put a Halloween mustache on for her before she wakes up. I might actually keep my eyes open for one of those, and the next time she gives me a hard time about my mustache, I might do that. And then I'll tell her, don't get her mustache on me. Heh. This needs a little press. Not going to be stingy with my pressing now. I've learned my lesson. I have to remember I'm sewing for somebody else. Her name is Dawn. I cannot even remember or will not even try to pronounce her X name. She's Dawn X. I do it on a weekend just in case she needs time to cope before going to school. Also solid advice. All right. Is anybody sewing up anything fun out there? A stick-on hairy one would be better, especially if you tell her one day you'll wake up with a mustache too. I'm going to start planting that seed that one day you're going to wake up with a mustache too, so be nice to mommy. And then I'm going to start collecting some mustache collections. It says that's part of my email. Oh my God. No way. I always try, my email is my maiden name, Tasha Larrabee, and just spelling Larrabee. I'm like, I just need to come up with like a new email address that's like, I don't know, 3 letters and 3 numbers. Oh, hi, Melinda. She says, I'm feeding my sourdough starter at the moment with a little bit of mustache. My sourdough starter is begging for help in the fridge right now. Yeah. And she's probably extremely sensitive, just like her mother, so I probably should play it cool. All right, so here's where we're at. I think we're looking pretty good. I always get the urge to revive my sourdough starter as soon as the weather breaks. Like, why is that? All winter, I'm like, I don't feel like baking any bread. Oh, it's 90 degrees outside. I'm sure I'm happy with all my pressing. All right, so that was that really already number 6 and 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, we're cruising. All right, so now we're going to do 8 and 9, which is up here. Amanda is adding to the borders to the quilt I started on Saturday. I'm live with Sean. Wow, cruising. I started watching the replay, but then I fell asleep because I was in bed. That happens to me. I watch a lot of people's videos many times because I fall asleep and then I have to go back. I'm just helping out. I'm just helping them out with the views. All right, just checking this one more time because I'm paranoid. Yes. That is correct. I feel like FPP is so complicated for my brain to think about that having to line up a ruler for 1/4 of an inch. I do have the add a quarter ruler somewhere too, but I like this one better. I don't know why. I think just the little handle. I don't know. It's just my the add a quarter ruler's fine too, but I like this one better. All right, we're gonna do the medium, which is this blue. Next, I like the blue. It's nice. There's a little bit of blue in the flowers here. Dawn says, I picked it when emails first came out. It's who my internet self is. Yeah, like I said, it just reminds me of when I would play World of Warcraft. You're just like a World of Warcraft princess or something. Amanda says, I carry tweezers everywhere for those fun chin hairs. Yeah, could someone explain to me how I have not a chin hair that I can feel, but tomorrow when I wake up, there could be like a white one that's like 3 inches long. Like, how does that happen? I don't understand. You always find it too when you're like driving into the office or about to go to a birthday party with your kids' friends. Like, God. Melinda says, I'm a sourdough newbie. It's been sticky chaos in my kitchen, but I'm getting the hang of it. If you're interested, I have 2 recipes after I tried so many that I always give to people when they say they're starting out sourdough. I'll send you the link on Instagram if you want. No pressure. One is like a bread recipe which uses a lot of starter, like a sandwich bread recipe. So if you like have way too much sourdough starter and you just want to feed it and use it instead of like coming up with some discard, it's a good one. And then the other one is like your more traditional one, but I find it to be easier. But if you've already got a recipe you're working with, then go with that. Yes. Man, it's so scary doing this for someone else because I'm like, I don't have extra fabric. This is not conducive to my anxiety, my nervousness. It's all right though. Okay. Amanda, I thought I had a big black chin hair and it was long, but it was just an eyelash that landed in my chin. The panic of how many people I'd spoken to before I realized it was an eyelash. That's hilarious. I will send it to you, Melinda. Um, that is so funny. You've got 20 people rooting for you. You've got this. Thank you guys. Need all the help I can get. The guild meeting is tomorrow night, but I'm not sure I'm gonna make it, but they don't need it back until July, they said, so I got time. But just in case I can make it tomorrow, I wanted to try to finish. I'm actually going to it's gonna be pre-recorded, so it won't be on her channel tomorrow. But I'm not sure if any of you know Katie the Greenland quilter. Um, but I'm going to meet up with her on Zoom tomorrow. She's going to interview me, so I should probably watch one of her previous interviews to kind of prepare myself. I have not yet. We'll see if I make time for that or not. But then she'll premiere it on her channel in the future, so I'll post about that. All right. All right. Quit being a jerk. Flip over, do this, and pin. Okay, there we go. Got it through all the layers this time. You're an FPP pro, you've got this. A pro is probably a very generous phrase. Do you guys backstitch when you FPP? Like in something like this? I have been because I kind of feel like I should. I don't know why my brain is having so much trouble comprehending what line I sew to. It's very straightforward, but I keep like second guessing it. Okay, Amanda backstitches. All right, so that's a good sign. I do like this blue with these colors. It's cute. Nice and pressed, learning our lessons. I still feel like this is a new machine to me. I got it in the end of September or the beginning of September. Is a Janome 6700P. Before that I used the same little brother machine that was so good to me for like 10 years. So this still feels like an amazing upgrade, and haven't even completely tried out everything this machine has to offer. But I love it. I did a ton of research before I bought this machine, and I'm very happy with it. I do not use my knee lift lever. My old machine had one too. I have it sitting over there. I have a weird table set up right now where like it just it's so high up, it's nowhere near my knee. But I'm thinking about getting one of those. I'm gonna start watching for sales. I want to get one of the machines that like the tables that the Janome sits down in. Does anybody have one of those? Because then I could use that. This would be wonky, like the way I'm probably not set up very ergonomically, to say the least. So yeah, I was looking at one when I bought the machine because I thought that would be good to have, especially when quilting and stuff. But the I don't know, the place I bought it from, I just wasn't the vibe wasn't it. So I got my machine and got out of there. It was on sale. I knew I wanted the machine. I figured I'd figure out the table another day. I does so Dawn's asking if anybody starches their FPP fabric. I have not, but I don't really use starch, but I do use Mary Ellen's Best Press. I probably do use that on some without like intentionally thinking about it if it's really wrinkly. I'm so glad I unpicked that, even though I didn't want to. Hi, Deb. How are ya? Zaza says my old 1937 Singer 201 has a knee lever that actually started and stopped the stitching. No kidding. I don't see the point of a knee lift that just lifts the presser foot when I can set it to do that. Oh, I don't know if mine will do that. It might like set the presser foot might go up and down automatically. Amanda said my husband cut out his mom's old Singer sewing desk. Oh, that's so fun! And insert my Janome M8. So I think the M8 is the one they were trying to get me to buy. That's a more expensive model, right? I think I paid like just like $3,000 for this one, and I'm pretty sure the M8 was more expensive. If not, it must have been a different model. But like I knew like that was my budget. I saved up for that. I knew like that's the machine I could get. And when I walked in, they're like, "Oh, do you want to start test driving some of these other machines?" And I'm like, "No, I want to test drive what I'm getting, and that is I want to test drive the one that I think I want, and then I don't want to test drive anything nicer. I have no doubt that I'll love it." I was gonna, we don't, I'm just using a, like a folding plastic table that we got at like Costco. Um, you know, it reminds me of like the tables I played beer pong on in college. Um, so I definitely would like to upgrade to a nicer table at some point. Oh, Amanda says I don't use starch at all. Mary Ellen's best press is all I use. Me too. I buy it in like a gallon jug and then use it. I want to get one of those, what do they call them? Continuous spray or Mister spray bottles. But I haven't yet. I'm just using like one I got at the dollar store because the other one I had broke. I use a 2 foot by 4 foot adjustable table from Home Depot for cutting ironing. The machine sits on a 30 by 19-inch adjustable. I'm 5 foot, so it helps. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's the kind of table I'm using. That might be. Mine might be a little bit longer than, no, maybe it is for 4 feet. That might be exactly what I'm sewing on too. Oh, it has this. Yeah, I have no doubt. When I took a look at that thing and I was like, there's no, like, my next machine maybe lady, you know, to the sales lady, but I'm like, nope, I can't test drive it because then this one, which is a huge upgrade. But I was like a stickler about that. I would not, even my local quilt shop, like the one right around the corner is a Bernina dealer. I would not, no matter what sale they were having, no matter what they were doing, I would not test drive any of their machines because I'm like, I'm not test driving it until I can afford to get it because I know I'm going to be like missing out. My brother was good to me, but I had never used anything other than it, so I did not know what I was missing out on. So I'm like, I'm going to keep only sew with what I have so I can appreciate it. Yeah, it sounds like we're using the same table, Dawn. Oh, yes. Amanda says the mister I got from Amazon is great. Yeah, I want one of those for my Mary Ellen's Best Press and water for my daughter's hair. um, because she has such curly hair that we have to, like, I need to wet it to really brush it, and I have to brush it in the morning, and I have to brush it in the evening and braid it before she goes to bed, or else it, like, literally mats. Oh my God. It's crazy. Her hair's crazy. Mine's a little curly, but hers is finer, I guess. She's a little ginger too. Um, and I've heard good things about those misters, but you know, she's only 5. What's the rush? I've been meaning to get one for years. Maybe I'll actually do it after I hang up here. Yeah, thankfully, the best press will be downstairs and the water and detangler will be upstairs. So hopefully I won't make that mistake. Maybe I'll buy, that's a good point though. Get 2 different colors or something. Because knowing her, she'll come down here, be sitting right next to me, doing her sewing, doing her coloring, or helping me sew. She'll just grab it and spray it in her hair. And they even said they don't want me to trim this block. Okay, twist my arm. Just finish it and give it to them. See how we're doing here. Does it look like a courthouse step block? Hopefully. I do have a Cricut. That's a good idea. Oh, hi Terry, how are you? Oh, Terry says she starches all of her FPP fabrics and she does love the misters. It says it says Best Press is a starch alternative. I don't know the science behind it though, but I'm like 99% sure when I bought it of course I don't have the bottle anymore because it broke. And then I already used the gallon. And I'm pretty sure it's a starch alternative. I can definitely see that starching FPP fabric would be beneficial. You really want everything to be crisp. I love the colors. The block is on my want to do list. I'm excited. This is my first one. So I have like a little list somewhere, like an actual handwritten list of like all like the traditional or classic quilt blocks I wanted to make, and I'm 99% sure this one was on there. So ticked that off. It's actually really a very straightforward pattern, and I have no doubt that if I was not live, that this would whip up so quick. And if I wasn't like being paranoid because it's a guild block. Amanda, have you always used Genomes, or is that was your M8 your first Genome? Best Press. Oh, it says Best Press is a starch. Maybe there are different kinds of weights. Oh, maybe. Okay, I thought it was a starch alternative, so I stand corrected. Just 2 more to go. Woohoo! And I am not going to trim the sides. I'm going to double check. Make sure nothing seems puckered. Looks good. Zaza says Donna from Handmade Ying starches her fabrics for FPP. She told me to starch and steam press them before I started. Listen, if that's what Donna says to do, then that's what we should be doing. Donna from Handmade by Ying, not sure. I'm assuming most everybody here has heard of her, but if not, she recently like tested a pattern for legit kits, like a fireman. It's crazy, and she did it like in a week. Like she's Superwoman. So she has got a ton of experience with FPP. So I believe what she says. I do need to change this rotary blade, and I need to change my machine needle too. I like this last fabric too. I'm going to show you in a second. I don't know how they picked these fabrics. If they all came from the same line or they were what, but I think Joanne cut all of these herself too. Good night, Denise. Thanks for hanging out. Oop, I just stabbed myself with a pin. Stella says, I have 2 sides done and the other 2 sides ready to go, but it's time for the hubby. Ah, good night. Good night. Those darn hubbies. Amanda says, I started quilting on my mother-in-law's Singer from the 70s. Then I got a Viking, did not love it, and then did a major upgrade the Janome M7 and then another. Oh, okay. So you loved the M7 so much that you went to the M8. So you took a little tour. That's cool. I have a new home uh treadle machine that I was supposedly on my list of things to do this year was to try that out, but I haven't figured that out. Dawn says I wanted to get the coffee legit kit until I realized it would take years. Yeah, so yeah. They are intense. I mean, I'm doing a small one right now. I've only done one block, but I am going to do more in June because Dawn, I am doing another sew every day in June. I'm doing it. And I was like, I'm gonna film a little video about it for Thursday, and I'm gonna put out my goals for my sew every day in June, and one of them is gonna be to finally sew some more. Look at that orange on my legit kit, because otherwise that sucker is literally gonna take years. I think that's cute. Sean, didn't I just hear you on your live, or maybe it was when you were with Tammy, that the person you were making that with might be retiring sooner? You don't got 4 years, my friend. You better get stitching. This one's a little tight, but it's all right. Not super tight. I'm finishing this before I leave. One more to go. How do we look? Oh, I like that. Does it matter? Let's see which way I do this. I don't think so. I'm being crazy about it. This is why I don't deal with prints. If I do it like this, then the reds will be moving in the same direction. So I think I'm going to do that. I think that's the verdict. Now I understand when in the last raffle quote my guild did, everyone's like, I think that's the block I made, because by the time they put this together next year, there's no way I'm going to remember which block I did. Well, maybe I will now that I just said it. I've locked in my memory. But I was cracking up when all the ladies were trying to figure out what block they sewed. I'm like, how could they not remember what block they sewed? Now I understand why. This is the first time I've ever done foundation paper piecing on tracing paper. So this seems to be a little thicker than the newspaper print, but thinner than copy paper. So got some perks. Oh, sorry, my chat wasn't refreshing for a minute there. I just refreshed it. What do we think? Oh, you have 3 Genobis in total now. I like it. Oh, and Sean says, correct. They may have been told it may be late. Yeah, same with the dog park quilt. Yeah. Zaza says, I love my Genomi machines. My first one is still going strong despite 15 years of neglect and abuse. That's how my brother machine was, honestly. I abused that thing. I never got it serviced. I used it for 10 years. Obviously, I took some time off when I had my kids, but that thing was amazing. Good night, Melinda. I know. How rude to retire early. They need to stay and work until he is ready to give them their quilt. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I would like to trim it because I want to see what it looks like, but I'm going to follow my instructions that explicitly tell me in bold, no need to trim to size or remove the tracing paper. So I'm going to follow and do my directions that I was told and leave it this way. But I will take a picture of it so that maybe someday, maybe I'll find the picture when I'm trying to figure out what quilt block I did, but probably won't. Probably won't even be able to find the picture. But I'm going to take the picture now because if I don't do it right now, who knows? And then I'm supposed to return it in my little baggie. I had lucky block number 3 for Raffle Quilt 26. Yeah, I could. I'll crop the picture. That's a good idea. Thanks, everybody. I am definitely feeling better about my FPP skills, but we'll see how I feel once I get back to Skulliver, how I'm feeling. I know. I'm going to put it right back in. Oh, yeah, cut out a frame from other paper. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do that. We'll have to see. Or maybe I'll just have to like wait until next year to see what it looks like. But I think that came out nice. I actually didn't even believe that that piece of paper was the right size, and I pulled out a ruler before I started my live and measured it because I was like, I don't think that they gave this to me right. But they did. What's so crazy, Terry, is FPP used to be my least favorite thing. I was like, this is stupid. I hate it. And now I am like, I really love it. Like, but sewing curves and foundation paper piecing are kind of turning into like 2 of my favorite things. I love with foundation paper piecing, you can get like kaleidoscope looking or, just like shapes you wouldn't otherwise get. And of course, like, the legit kits and stuff. Yeah, but if you had asked me 2 years ago if foundation paper piecing would be like something I could do without watching a video and swearing, I wouldn't have believed you. And now I love it. Y seams are on my list to do, but I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, I should put my initial in there somewhere. Well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I am gonna, yeah, call it a night and start. I gotta go do my closing shift upstairs, the dishwasher and snacks and all that fun stuff. You know what, Zaza? Like, I tried it 3 times, didn't like it the first 2. The third time I was like, oh, I think I like this. I'm gonna stick with it, and then it clicked. But yeah, no need to force yourself into something, but give it a fair shake. Yep, all the adult chores. If I don't do them now, I'll have to do them at like 6 in the morning. So we'll just have to see what I'm feeling like when I finally get up there. So, well, thank you everybody for hanging out and rooting me on. And yeah, I'm gonna have a video on Thursday talking about a sew every day in June if any of you are interested in jumping in again. And yeah, then I'll be live again next Monday. So I will talk to you soon. I'll find you there. Hope you find some time to take care of yourself and do something for yourself and have a great night. Good night, everybody. I'm going to do that little funny ending scene too. Ooh,